Hi, my name is Nicole Naditz. I'm the Program Specialist for Instructional Technology and World Languages in San Juan Unified School District. And today I am bringing you a new tour of our updated Virtual Learning Hub. To get started, you will sign into Portal. Once you are signed into Portal, take a look at the tiles and you should see one called Virtual Learning Hub. If you don't see it, you can actually start typing Virtual Learning Hub and it will appear. And then click on that and it will open for you. It may require you to sign in again just to verify that you do have access to this page. Once it opens, you will land on the home page of the hub. But the first thing I want to show you is that this hub has many pages. So there is a home page, a technology training and support page, a curriculum support page, a page that provides you with access to the essential standards for many content areas at each grade level, as well as to asynchronous lesson banks prepared by our practitioners, again, for many subject areas across grade levels, and all of those lessons are aligned to our essential standards. We also have a section that provides support with online assessment with technology, and another page that provides support with self-care and wellness, both for staff, but many of the suggestions are also appropriate for students. Now, let's take a look at this first page, the Virtual Learning Home. On this page, you have several resources that you will access either by clicking the links here at the top or scrolling down. Those resources are a slideshow that provides you with information about the core technologies that San Juan Unified School District has made available to you for teaching and learning. A document called Fostering Successful Distance Learning, a video called Fostering Successful Distance Learning. These two portions were created back at the start of the pandemic. However, the strategies and resources mentioned in terms of lesson design are not only appropriate for virtual situations, but even for many in-class learning situations. So take a look at those two resources for just some tips and pointers regarding lesson design that meets the needs of all learners. And then you also have quick access to some self-directed learning and support with our core technologies. These are not live trainings, but rather resource documents and recorded trainings that will help you get started successfully so that you don't have to wait for an email reply from one of the instructional technology team members or someone else, or you don't have to wait for there to be a training scheduled. So again, you can access these resources by clicking on the one you want, or you can just scroll down. As you can see, this is a slide deck, and every underlined item is a link, usually to a support document to help you get started. It has several categories, and it has 3 pages that go through the technologies that are available to you. As I mentioned earlier, you have the Successful Virtual Learning document, which is a printable kind of guide or resource that educators and other practitioners can refer to. And then you have a video that kind of elaborates on each of those areas in the document a little more fully. And then finally, as mentioned, down at the bottom of this homepage, you have a chance to take a look at some available resources. And again, these will point to recorded trainings or support documents with many step-by-step resources and additional resources to help you get started successfully with whichever tools you would like to use with your learners. So I'm going to bring us back up to the top. You'll notice that usually there is a back to top link. Those were the resources just on this page, but I also help remind you about which other resources are available on the other pages of this site. So on the technology training and support page, for example, we have on-demand trainings and additional resources for instructional technology tools. We have a curriculum support page that provides some pretty concrete support and tips that are by subject area and grade level. We have the essential standards and lesson banks that I mentioned earlier on their own page, and then the other 2 pages I mentioned, the online assessment and self-care and wellness. So if we take a look at technology training and support, again, you have some resources listed right at the top of the page so that you don't have to scroll. If you know what you need, you can jump right to it. And you will see that some materials are cross-posted on multiple pages. That is done on purpose to ensure that practitioners can quickly find what they need, no matter what page they end up on. So you've seen that resource before and this one, but we also have instructions for the Wi-Fi hotspots that families and staff may have checked out. And we have a very robust list of links to recorded webinars and trainings on a variety of tools and even approaches and strategies for instruction in virtual learning. And then beneath that, we have a list that's very similar, and it's the same topics, but instead of recordings, these are actual documents, things you could print out or look at. And those documents also usually include links to the recorded trainings. Okay, so there we go. That is what we have on the technology page. On the curriculum page, we now have just 3 things. We have this one single slide that is clickable. So if you are looking for resources for grades 3 through 5, you can click there. That will take you to a Google document that has numerous resources. Please notice the outline table of contents on the left. This allows you to jump straight to the item you would like to look at. But of course, you can also just scroll down. So this is for grades 3 through 5. It starts with things appropriate for all subjects, then goes into math, ELA, ELD, science, social science, reading library, special education, music, art, and PE, family resources. And then each of those things is a link. So that link will take you to the next part of the document where that particular topic is expanded upon and where you can find resources to help you get started with these content-focused resources. So I'm going to close that now and bring us right back to our curriculum support page. Again, you have many clickable links on this page that you can explore based on what you teach. I also remind you that the asynchronous lesson banks are on the Essential Standards and Lesson Banks page if you're looking for those. And then for middle school and high school, we have a couple additional resources. It is helpful to know which tools actually work well on phones, because for many of our students, that is the device that they have when they are not at school. So those 2 resources are there to support you with that. And finally, we do have some video tutorials that were designed for students for accessing any materials from the publisher McGraw-Hill. So those are for classes using those instructional materials. The Essential Standards and Lesson Banks page has a link at the top to jump straight to the lesson banks if that's what you want. But the very first thing on the page are the essential standards. These are the standards on which those lessons are built, right? So they are power standards or building block standards that are essential not only for the current year of study of that particular subject, but also for success in ongoing study in future years. So you have a video introduction to those essential standards, and then you have clickable documents for each of the grade bands with the essential standards provided to you, so that as a practitioner, you can make some decisions about which standards to focus on when we have so much that we're expected to do. And then beneath that, you have the lesson banks. These are asynchronous lessons aligned to our essential standards. They are designed by San Juan practitioners and are designed to not only be aligned to those standards, but also to specifically address the many needs of our learners. They do typically represent the first several weeks of instruction in a new course, which means we do not have asynchronous lessons for all of the essential standards for an entire year's worth of material. You have 2 resources to help you with these. You have a video showing you the lesson template that the practitioners used in order to kind of give you the teacher edition of the lesson with all of the extra resources and answer keys and the versions you will copy for students so that students have the activities and so on. And then you have a separate video specifically on that last aspect. How do you actually share the lesson activities with your learners? And then beneath that, you actually have the lesson banks themselves. So those are the lesson bank page. Back up at the top, we have the online assessment page, which, as I mentioned, provides support with assessment using technological resources. It, again, has one of those Google Docs that you can just click through. So if you want to learn about iReady, you can click that. It will bring you to that spot of the document after the document loads. Okay. And then we also have the self-care and wellness page. And on that page, you will notice that you have several resources provided by the district, from Kaiser, even some from other school districts, articles. And as you scroll down, there's also health and wellness resources. Well, these are the resources that are linked up at the top. So anything you click here will take you to a section of this same page that actually has the resources from Kaiser Permanente, for example. And then you can hit back to top and say that you want to go to the resources from San Juan Unified. You can also, again, click to any of these resources that you wish to use or consult. And with that, you have a pretty full tour of the updated Virtual Learning Hub. Use this left-hand navigation menu at any time to go back and forth between the various pages. And remember that you will access this hub in our portal with the Virtual Learning Hub tile. Thanks for watching.